Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. Before we jump into the video, first I want to thank you all for sending out your prayers and everything for my son. He was on a 24-hour call. Of course, for some of you all may not know my son, he's a junior firefighter, okay? And so this is going on his third fire that he's went out on, and he's only 18 years old. So, you know, as a dad, I'm fearful, I'm scared and stuff for his safety or whatever, but I definitely wanted to tell you all, thank you, and I appreciate your prayers. I truly do. I really appreciate that. Now, the video we're talking about here is personal loans that only pull Experian. Now, here's the thing about it. I would definitely tell you guys, if you have a bad Equifax TransUnion, then I would definitely tell you to freeze those, okay? And I would tell you to use these here lenders for your Experian. Now, this is going to be a mixture because some of these, they don't just use a FICO 8 scoring, they use a FICO 9, and that's what I tried to pick, most of your FICO 9 scoring. Some of them use your mortgage scores, some of them use a Vantage score, okay, a Vantage 4 score. So that being said, the first lender we're talking about is First National Bank of Omaha. Now, with First National Bank of Omaha, they are regional, okay? So by them being regional, meaning that everybody can't get approved for a loan through them, okay? And so they use Experian FICO 9. And the reason that I like them is because they do offer you a great opportunity, okay? So that's the reason why First National Bank, they're high on the list. The next one is the State Department Federal Credit Union. Now, this is my favorite bank, and the reason is because with the credit unions, many of you hear me say that you can use that one inquiry to pull like 2 and 3 products. And with the State Department Federal Credit Union, when it comes to their personal loans, with the personal loans, once you get qualified for it, you don't have to make a payment for the first 90 days. Okay, and so that's huge for a lot of people. When you get a loan, instead of having to turn around and pay that money back right away, they actually give you that 90-day gap. And so with the State Department Federal Credit Union, they use a mortgage score. They use Experian Mortgage 2 score in order to qualify with them. All right. Now, the next one is PenFed. Now, with PenFed, they go up to $50,000. Now, the confusion with a lot of people with PenFed, because they hear that PenFed pulls Equifax. Well, they pull Equifax with the credit cards, but with the personal loans, they actually use Experian. Okay. And the good thing about it with PenFed, when you join, it's only a $5 to join now. But I also encourage you with a savings account, but I also encourage you to open up a checking account. Now, I've seen the lowest credit score to get approved for a loan, and PenFed doesn't ask for any docs for their loans and stuff, right? And so the lowest credit score I've seen them get approved is with a 620 credit score, okay? So that's the reason why they're on the list as well. Now, the next lender is with another bank, and that's Wells Fargo, okay? Now, with Wells Fargo, their personal loans go up to $100,000. Now, the only setback with Wells Fargo is that they are Experian FICO 9. However, in order for you to get access to their personal loans, you have to be a member with them for at least 12 months or 1 year, okay? So that's something that you may want to consider as well. Now, the next lender we're talking about is SoFi. All right, and so I made a separate video about SoFi and the qualifications, but SoFi pulls Experian as well. Now, here's the difference with SoFi in terms of reporting. This is very important. With SoFi, okay, they go up to 100,000. However, when they report it as a consumer finance account. And so since they report it as a consumer finance account, when it comes to your FICO 8 scoring, all right, this may throw off your credit score maybe 3 to 5 points, okay, when you're trying to get other loans. Even if it's paid off, it may lower your FICO 8 credit scoring 3 to 5 points. All right, so that's something you have to take into consideration. Then the next one is United Nations Federal Credit Union. Okay, now United Nations Federal Credit Union, they actually go up to $150,000 on their personal loans. All right, the best part about this is that, say that you have bad credit, and I always tell you, like with your credit unions, you always want to garden a relationship. And what that means is that you want to open up a personal checking account, a savings account. If you can, you want to do a money market account. When you have bad credit, you want to do a secured credit card. You want to do a secured loan. And speaking of their secured loans, with United Nations Federal. Now, what I was saying about United Nations secured loans, all right, the reason why I like it is because they give you up to 150% of whatever you deposit. So if you deposit $1,000 into a secured personal loan, then they'll give you $1,500. That's the reason why they're on the list, because they do give you the opportunity to borrow more on your secured personal loans to help jumpstart. Because if they give you 100, if you put in 1,000, they give you 1,500. You can take the other 500 and you can use that to open up a secured card. That way you can have 2 primary trade lines coming from them. So that's the reason why I say them. Now, you also have First Tech Federal Credit Union. First Tech, they pull Experian. They are good. My thing is with First Tech, they're very sensitive in terms of like with inquiries and stuff like that. You may have like too much open revolving credit. They may turn you down. So with First Tech, you have to be very cautious if you're going to actually do business with them. Now, the next one is Partners Credit Union. Partners Credit Union, they're pretty flexible as well, all right? And they pull Experian. Now, you also have Affinity Federal Credit Union. There's a difference, okay? And so there's Affinity Plus, and then you have Affinity Federal Credit Union. You want to focus on Affinity Credit Union if you're going to be using your Experian credit score. All right, so it's Affinity Credit Union you want to actually use. All right, then you have Patelco. Now, I like Patelco, and the reason is they have so many products, not only to help you rebuild your credit, but to be able to get you maximum amount of funding. And they're very generous with Patelco. Now, their personal loans go up to $100,000. So that's why I like them, because the personal loans go up to $100,000. Plus, it's a soft pool. Now, going back to Navy Federal, they are also a soft pool. So you're able to do a pre-qualification to see if you're able to qualify for their loans. Then you have PNC Bank. Now, PNC Bank, granted, their personal loans only go up to $35,000, okay, but it's Experian FICO 9. So that's the reason why I like them. Now, let me tell you about American Express. Here's the deal with American Express. You can get American Express personal loan with no hard pull as well. However, the thing about it, you have to be an existing American Express client, okay? So you have to have an existing personal credit card with them for at least a year, and then they will do an invite. Sometimes they may wait to up to 6 months. Now, I would tell you with American Express, you have to be careful. And the reason is sometimes they may want to do a financial evaluation. Now, they'll, again, on the personal loans, they will give you the personal loans, okay? I think it's up to $40,000 on their personal loan. However, the thing about it, sometimes they may want to do a financial review to see where you're currently at. So the best way to get around that with American Express is I would attach my bank account that I'm always making my payments with my credit card. I would attach that to the American Express account and pay my bills that way. That way, like every 6 months or whatever, they may do an automated check to see if there's what type of activity going on. And the reason they do this, they may be considering and giving you a credit limit increase on your credit cards, okay? So that's the reason why I'm sharing that with you, all right? So again, for those of you, I really appreciate you sending out your prayers for my son. Like I said, as a dad, it's definitely nerve-wracking knowing that your son is doing something so dangerous, you know, but he said he wanted to do something with a purpose. So, hey, I appreciate that and I can respect that. Anyway, if you have any question about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.